and welcome back. In a previous video, I had unboxed and sorted all the cards in a Dominaria United pre-release kit, and in this video I will be building a limited deck from the sealed pool inside. If you missed the video where I unboxed this pool, I will include a link to that video from the description of this one. But otherwise, let's go ahead and analyze the pool and build our deck. Unfortunately, I think most of our rares are not very good. I am excited about this one, and I think we can pull off a 3-color deck. The other one that catches my eye is Guardian of Nubenalia, but I'm not sure if we have the support to go into if we were to try to do 4 colors, but I guess we will see. We do have an on-color Painland for Soul of Windgrace. We have a board wipe. We also have Ravaz of the Claw. And I don't know that we will be able to do any of his abilities besides Menace, but still think it's a playable card. And then unfortunately, I think Urza Assembles the Titans is unplayable. Even though we have a Planeswalker here, it just doesn't seem to make sense. So I don't think we'll be playing either of those. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and review each of the colors and maybe pull forward cards that I think we might be able to play. Our white actually has some decent cards, I think. So maybe there's a direction we could go if we wanted to pursue Guardian of Nubenalia. Judging by our rares, we're likely not in blue at all. And that doesn't feel too bad by what I'm seeing here. Also, just as a disclaimer, I am recording this on pre-release weekend. Haven't really had a chance to play too much of this set yet. I did a little bit on Arena, but still very early in the format for me, so I'm sure card evaluations will change over time. So I'm just kind of trying to judge based on the information that I have right now, which isn't a lot, so please bear with me. So I can see black definitely wants some interaction with the graveyard. Okay. So nothing too incredibly exciting in red or green, but let's see what we have for multicolored. Interesting. all of them are potentially on color if we go for colors, but the strategies seem to be quite disparate. And we could potentially use all of our land. So Soul of Windgrace definitely wants us to be discarding lands for value and then returning them to the battlefield. I think I'm actually going to start with white and then see if maybe a direction kind of emerges from there. So what I'm seeing here is kind of a low to the ground, go wide strategy, but maybe struggling, I guess, to have enough playables. And everything here is fairly small. We don't really have anything that's like a really big finisher. I think our biggest toughness is 4 and 5. Maybe we could play this. I was thinking initially it would be overpriced, but with some of the kicker costs in here, we are definitely going to be playing 3 colors, which makes it a little bit more reasonable. That also opens us up to Vortuk Bone Rattle, which gets back a decent amount of our creatures. I mean, it does get anything, but our small creatures can return straight to the battlefield. So maybe that's something to think about. We seem pretty light on removal, which is kind of concerning. I would have loved to see a bite down or something like that. Like this conditional removal is not something that I would hope for. We do have ways to grow some of our creatures. Some of them can get larger at instant speed, which is kind of like a combat trick, but enlist is definitely a thing, which is helpful, but I feel like if you're paired up against a kind of slow deck, then this might be okay if you're just able to deploy your creatures and attack for a bunch of damage really early on, but I think the wheels will definitely fall off later in the game, and this deck would have trouble finishing. Even some mediocre 4/4s are a problem for this deck, so I mean, that one can get pretty big. There's a little bit of evasion, but I don't know. I think as much as I would love to play a strategy like this, the cards that we have are just lacking a way to really close out the game. So sealed is generally a slower format, and having not yet really gone out and played the field, I guess it's hard to say what the speed of this set is like in sealed. So, I mean, having so many 2 mana and 3 mana creatures means that we can get out a lot of creatures quickly, and we'll be able to cast multiple creatures per turn. But I don't know, I can just kind of imagine this deck getting into a situation where it needs to double or triple block larger creatures, and you're just always on the back foot once it progresses beyond a certain point in the game. Yeah, I guess I just don't have a lot of confidence in this particular build. So maybe we'll go back to the drawing board a little bit and see maybe if we could build something around Soul of Windgrace. So this is kind of an interesting dynamic. If we have enough lands, maybe we could make this work in our favor and get Urg quite big. But I could also see Soul of Windgrace fighting against Urg and sort of inadvertently shrinking him down because of returning the lands from the graveyard. But I don't know, maybe there's a way to live the dream and activate Soul of Windgrace like multiple times in combat and get Urg like super big. That would require a lot of lands both on the battlefield and in hand, so probably not a likely scenario, but I like that Soul of Windgrace doesn't need to tap or anything to activate his abilities and can kind of be done at will. So I'm trying to think about what the primary color here might be. We have already seen some of our green cards, so I guess I'll just start laying out some black and red and see what that looks like. I don't know if that card is actually that good, but I feel like Enlist and Trample together should be okay. I mean, that card definitely belongs in a tokens deck, but it is a 5/4 for 5, I guess. I don't really know if we have enough to make that work either. Okay, and then we have these cards that care about returning creatures from the graveyard. Like, if we kill a bunch of our own creatures with drag to the bottom, or kill them off in combat. Definitely need to make some cuts. That's like our only reach that we have. I don't think we have enough instants or sorceries for this to really be worth it. I really don't love Tattered Apparition, but again, it's like our only flyer, I think. Oh, we do have reach. That's nice. I feel like I really don't like that guy either, but it is large with trample, which is kind of hard to argue with. We probably won't be able to kick that, but that's fine. Oh. I don't know if there's room for this. Sheldred's Restoration just looks like a better version of that since it goes straight to the battlefield. Is there anything that we definitely want to cast? Maybe? I don't know if it's worth it though. Maybe play the filter land to help smooth out some of the double mana costs that we have, or on the off chance that we might be able to kick Sheldred's Restoration. Maybe something like that, I don't know. Let's give it a shuffle and see what it looks like. Well, we certainly have all of our colors, but I don't think we can keep this. Okay. So we do have to mulligan. I would probably send a swamp back here. So probably start out with a mountain. Oop. Okay, maybe hold up lightning strike here if we want to destroy a creature if they roll one out early. So we get to cast either our Flowstone Kavu or Phyrexian Rager. Probably matters a little bit what's going on the other side of the battlefield. If we have time to mess around, maybe this one so that we can draw a card. But if there's something that we need to block, probably want this one. So we can cast either of these. I don't presume the opponent would have any land in their graveyard right now. Unless they've done some self-mill. And we certainly don't have any land in our graveyard, but it is definitely a 5/4, so I think we just roll this out and start attacking. And yeah. We can play our 5th land, and then from there maybe start activating Soul of Wind Grace a little bit in future turns. I don't know. This seems like a really risky keep, but out of curiosity, let's see what happens. so we need to ship it. Oh no. So, I don't know. Assume that we can attack here. Okay. So we can cast either of these or the Kavu. We can also use the Sulphurous Springs to filter through the Crystal Grotto and avoid taking damage for producing colored mana. I think I just roll out the biggest creature possible. Alright, and then we're probably pretty at risk of falling behind now. It'll be sort of situationally dependent to see whether we want to play our 2/2 or a 1/3 reach. I guess for now just roll out something that is a better blocker. All right. So that puts us a little bit more in business. We are definitely taking damage to cast anything with black unless we filter it, which costs more. But yeah, I mean, we can play our Soul of Windgrace now. We could get the Tattered Apparition out if we need to. Or just cast this and draw another card. So that kind of gives us all the land that we need. So if we had played Soul of Windgrace, then maybe we could start doing some land shenanigans. But yeah. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. And there we have it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what type of deck you might have built from this sealed pool. Would you have gone a different direction from me? Was there anything that you saw that looked particularly interesting to build? Let me know. I'd love to talk about it. And of course, please make sure that you subscribe and come back every Monday for a Crack-A-Pack and every Friday for different types of Magic the Gathering ASMR videos. I'd love to have you along for the ride. And I'm really excited to dive deeper into Dominaria United. I know for the Monday Crack-A-Packs, I'm going to be focusing on Dominaria United going forward until Brothers War comes out. I'm really excited to learn more about the set and open some packs with you, so hope to see you around. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.